You're listening to Happy Hour Hustle, a podcast featuring the musings and witty remarks of me, Kim Bodie. We can promise at least 2 terrible jokes, which I will laugh at, and at least 10 minutes of incredible thought leadership from some amazing and influential guests. So grab a glass of iced red wine and join us for one heck of a wild ride. Also, be prepared for a dog bark or 3. There will at least be 1. I should have had some wine.
Hi, welcome to Happy Hour Hustle, which is an awesome podcast that by this point you've probably listened to in the past, and if not, welcome to your first ever episode. This is a heck of an episode to be your first because we're kind of flipping the script here. Typically, we are hosted by the wonderful Kim Bodie, but right now, I, Rowan Leo, am doing the hosting because we're interviewing Kim. I just don't know why I said interviewing.
Interviewing, that's right.
I did a weird stress. It's fine. Nobody noticed except for me, but now it's immortalized on recordings.
Yep. Forever and ever.
We are also joined here by the one, the only Josh Byler, who is also on the call. Hi, Josh.
Hello.
I like how we have video turned on so I can see Josh just zoning out, looking at birds out the window as I introduce him.
100%
I don't know
what
where
he's
else
doing.
to go. It makes me very uncomfortable, so I don't know.
Hey, Josh, we typically, when people are on this podcast, make them introduce themselves. And I think, weirdly enough, like we've talked about you on this podcast, but I don't think you've ever been on it before. So our typical questions are, first off, what is your drink of choice?
I'm a beer guy, mostly. So,
like just any beer or?
Well, yeah, people who know me would say that, yeah. But any IPA is good.
Okay.
Two Hearted's usually my go-to.
Spoken like a true West Michigander.
Yeah. I enjoy a nice whiskey once in a while too. So, but yeah, probably beer mostly.
Heck yes. Okay. And then our normal question is also, how do you know Kim? But we'll get into that in a second. So,
so many layers.
So this is an interesting one because we were talking about the concept of being married to somebody who is in the marketing and ad and PR and all those industries, because it is a fast-paced industry and there's always something happening. And sometimes reporters reach out to you in the middle of the night and you have to respond to them. So for that, we decided to pull in Kim and the person she is married to who is dealing with somebody in the marketing world. So let's just get it right out there. We'll start with this. How did you guys officially meet?
Well, we met way back when through rugby. I used to play rugby for Grand Rapids, and she was dating a guy at the time that was also on the team. And so that's how we initially met. And then we've just known each other since then. There was a weird, she broke up with that guy. We dated for a while. Then she ghosted. And I went to other places, and then we just kind of reconnected 6 years later. So
I like that you call out Kim for ghosting. Kim, do you have any defense for your ghosting?
Yeah, no, I don't. That for sure happened. I think what he's forgetting to mention is the very first thing he said to me when he met me, knowing I was actually, supposedly he didn't know I was dating somebody else on the team. Do you want to tell them what you said?
The first time that you came, I wouldn't have known that.
That's true. But what did you say?
I asked who you were there with or how long you'd been dating. So, the standard questions. Do you have a boyfriend?
No,
how long have you been dating?
Yeah.
Oh, you do have a boyfriend? Well, how long have you been dating? Oh, only a week? That doesn't count. Yeah.
That is true.
That's awesome. I mean, I think that's fair, though. A weekend, it's like, it could go either way.
Yeah. It might have been longer. I don't remember. It's been a long time. But that was the gist of it.
Heck yeah, that segues well, actually. How long have you guys been together? And how long have you been, officially married?
9 years officially married, and we've been together 10 and a half, maybe 11, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
I mean, it's just wedded bliss. We keep track of every second. So
didn't you just have an anniversary a week ago? Shouldn't you know this answer?
Well, no, I know that part, Ro. I know it's 9 years. That part.
Married. Yeah.
Yes. But the rest of it,
We're marking it on the calendar. We're just Xing things off.
Yeah.
Carving notches into a tree.
Another day closer to death.
My gosh, that's terrifying and morbid, and we'll move on from that. So obviously that means that you showed up midway through 834's life, which means that you have been with Kim throughout 834. At least you've been.
He actually knew, because I used to talk to him on the phone when I was dating that other guy, when I was working for my life science company. So he probably remembers when I started 834, or at least around the time, like it was freelance.
No,
I
I
launched it as
definitely
freelance. Yeah. So
Josh, with that answer, what is your most vivid memory of when Kim first launched 834?
Oh, there's so many. I remember the jobs before that, before she like went full time with it, and how miserable she was.
No.
And so for her to like actually start 834 full time on her own, I think was definitely something that she needed to do just for her own personal sanity. So I don't specifically remember like the beginning of it, but I remember the jobs before that.
I worked for some really crappy people. No.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a reason you go off and make your own company. Like, it's not like you're working for an amazing person and you decide to leave and do that.
Right. You just get sick of men determining what your future is going to be. So you make your own.
That's what happened to me. That's why I started my own. Tired of the man telling me what to do. Yeah.
Actually, on that note, I would love to hear this. Kim, will you describe Josh's job?
Oh, God.
Well, he is not at what you would refer to as a handyman. He is a skilled contractor in the masonry and construction trades.
Yes, nice.
I like that. Yeah. That's nice.
You're welcome.
And Josh, I think Turnabout is fair play. Will you describe Kim's job?
Oh, God. Doer of all things. It's you're everything. It's marketing. It's literally everything. Like, it's a integrated communications company. So that means you integrate a little bit into everything. That's how I think of it.
I think it's awesome. If only mom and dad were listening, they'd finally know what it is that I do.
Oh, yes.
Oh, gosh. Oh, okay. So we all know that 834 was not always sunshine and rainbows. Tell us about what life was like functioning as a unit when Kim was first starting off a company and things were getting hectic. How did you guys survive? What coping mechanisms did you come up with?
Drinking.
Getting hectic? It's not hectic now. Like,
I mean, like the bad kind of hectic, like when you're first starting up a business and like you're making more mistakes than successes, or at least I guess this is just what I assume starting a business is like. I have no idea.
Am I in? I think it's just trying to make things that you can control kind of as smooth as possible, because the business end of it, you don't know what clients are going to do, and you don't know there's a lot of uncontrollable. So the everyday day-to-day stuff, like the dogs and the house and things like that, I just try and keep that somewhat functioning smoothly, I guess. And then the rest of it just kind of falls into place, sort of. So
I'd say too, like when I started out, do you remember when we did the lights in the night and we launched all those lanterns? I think part of like being married to a business owner is that you're often like the first volunteer, sometimes the only volunteer. And so like at that event, I remember Josh was handing out lanterns, explaining to people how to light them, then helping people light them, then, checking on the volunteers and all of that. So like, I think you never start a business alone I think there's always people that are there to support you. And I think specifically when you're either you have a significant other, say you're married or whatever, that person often becomes like that, your number one supporter. And then also like your number one employee. And I think that's why we always say he's a unofficial, like, team member of 834, although I think that's kind of official.
Well, yeah. And like that kind of stuff I didn't even think about, because that I think that's just assumed that you're going to do it, like that I'm going to be a part of it, because I don't know. I mean, we're married, so it's a team effort, I guess. So that part I didn't even really think about. But yeah, I mean, there's been tons of events that, I've gone and helped. Remember the Bissell Pet one, that Bissell Pet Foundation that we had to set up? It was a fall themed thing. So there was a lot of, but yeah, that's just
like a carnival.
That's just
you were building
standard
things. And then Apollo bit that poor 3-legged dog.
What?
That was sad.
Yeah, that was random.
That was real sad. That was very sad for that 3-legged dog. So that was the last time we brought him to an event. Or how about when we did the scavenger hunt downtown Grand Rapids, and it was in the rain, and you stood out there with my ex-mother-in-law, and we're like, you were handing out maps and helping little kids, and we done some really weird shit.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Looking back on it, you guys realizing all these weird things that you were doing, I think it's very fun that you say that it's just assumed, because I feel like there are a lot of times when you have a spouse who's in a high stress industry that it is not assumed that you will be a part of that. So shout out to you on that one. Good job. Gold star.
Yeah, I think that's I think that's a testament to Josh's character, that he just, he looks at it and says, well, obviously I'm going to do this because I'm the husband and this is what she needs. But I think there's a lot of partners that do not step up. And that I think that's one of the reasons I think you see divorces with business owners a lot of times, because it's so hard for a spouse or for somebody to recognize how hard it is to run a business. And if they're not, I think Josh is much more aware because he's actively involved in a lot of the things. He actually takes an interest in the conversations and the clients and the employees. And, he's there at every party. He's, like that kind of stuff. So I think that's very unique. I do not think that is a given whatsoever. I see a lot of people in the professionals that their spouse is just absent all the time. In fact, I was married before and he was never around, and people just had no idea I was married. So when I got a divorce, everyone was like, oh, I didn't even know you were married. So, and that is obviously not the case now. If I go someplace, everybody's like, where's Josh? Oh, thanks. I'm here. Does that, no? Okay, cool.
Somebody has to watch the dogs.
It's true. There are 6 of them.
That's a good segue too. So what do you guys think is more stressful? Things that happen at 834 that are then discussed or leak into the house, or the dogs on a general basis?
Ooh, that's a good one. Both. That's a great. So this morning, Josh brought Parker to the vet because Parker's the one who had lymphoma, and it's been 3 years since his remission, which they're usually like this, you maybe get 9 to 12 months. So he's like a ridiculous miracle. So every couple of months I have a freak out that I found a new lump or that suddenly his cancer is back and he's dying. And poor Josh has to accommodate that freak out by being the one who typically will bring him to the vet and say, I'm here because Kim's losing her mind again and is terrified that Parker is dying. And the vet's like, yeah, we know. It's about that time. And so I would say Josh, maybe it's the dogs to Josh, or maybe it's just dealing with me as it relates to the dogs.
I think it's more dealing with you. Yeah. I wasn't going to say it, but since you brought it up, that's definitely what it is. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. We can function pretty easily. It's you get into the mix and start hypochondriacing all over the place, if that's a word. And
it is now.
So, yeah.
We have a whole cabinet full of pills for the dogs. There's vitamins, there's probiotic, there's allergy pills, there's I don't know, there's everything. There's senior vitamins, yeah. Mm-hmm. So, and Josh is the one that handles the feedings and the medicine management. It's basically a doctor.
Basically, yeah.
You're honorary 834 member and also honorary veterinarian.
Yes.
That's
Yep.
pretty good. So I'm going to say, Kim, we've talked about how awesome it is to have somebody like Josh who's willing to help out at any point. We will sing your praises here and record it on the podcast so you can play it back whenever you want.
If I'd known it was going to be like this, I would have volunteered a long time ago.
Kim, what is the hardest part, though, about having a partner who doesn't work in marketing?
I don't know that there is a hard part. Like maybe I'm just like all team Josh today, but
No.
I think probably one of I wouldn't say it was the marketing part. I would say like it's the business owner part. And sometimes like he doesn't understand. He's very like black and white with some things. And I think there's a lot of gray areas in business, whether it's managing people or whether it's dealing with difficult clients or whether it's like financial stuff, that kind of stuff. So I think sometimes he's very like, this is what you do. This is the only answer. And I'm like, well, no, because there's other people that factor into it. So I have to be a bit more diplomatic than that, instead of like, sometimes I'm like, I think he's just like, burn the place down. And I'm like, well, let's take a step back real quick. And, think about that a little bit, but
that is
so
true.
I think that is true. I don't think but I also find some of the best advice I get is from him because he's not in the weeds. And so like, I'll be talking about something. It's crazy to me how much he actually picks up on when I'm having my daily calls with Sue or when, I'm talking to you guys on the team meetings, and I'll often hear him, contributing in the other room or, but he picks up on a lot of stuff. So like, it's interesting that he always brings like a point of view or approach that is the right one or gives me a different way of looking at a situation, which is incredibly helpful because it's just like staring at the same, math problem. And you're like, and you're like, I don't know how to do this. Like, if you don't have, somebody you can bounce that kind of stuff off of, or that can help you figure things out. I think that you often might not make the best decision. Mm-hmm. So I'd say that's really I very much appreciate that.
I like your being stuck in a math problem analogy because I am, of course, married to a math teacher, and that is my life every day.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do you guys sometimes talk? Is Lane like, so what time does the train get to the station if all of these things happen? Those were my least favorite math problems. I wanted to punch my 7th grade math teacher, Mr. Denowden, if he's listening, which I doubt he is. He's probably knitting a sweater vest someplace.
I'm sure he tunes in. I'm sure he's...
Yeah, I'm sure he does.
Yeah.
Shout out to him.
Yeah.
Wait, do you tune in? You don't tune in, do you? No.
Oh, you can tune into a podcast.
Can you tune
in?
Yeah.
We should ask Josh what his favorite podcast is.
My old-timey ways of radio.
That is a good question, though.
Radio.
Josh, what is your favorite podcast?
I listen. I mean, when I'm not listening to the Happy Hour Hustle.
Nice.
I like Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend. That one's pretty good. The Wait, Don't Tell Me is pretty good from NPR. They do a podcast because they're not doing their live shows now. So they do them on podcasts, and then they play them. Those are always pretty funny. And then I just forgot his name. Mo Rocca. He does it's called Mobituaries. And he covers like famous people or people that kind of got missed in history, but that contributed, something pretty significant. Those are pretty interesting and pretty funny. Those are probably, that's kind of my random. It just depends on my mood. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I'll listen to some random.
Every morning you listen to WGRD, Free Beer and Hot Wings.
Yeah,
which makes me want to punch myself in the face half the time.
Sometimes they get annoying, and so then I don't. But.
Yeah.
Kim, what is your favorite podcast? We've never discussed that on here.
That's because I don't listen to them at all.
She doesn't. No, she doesn't
Yeah.
I
listen.
don't at all. No, I tried one time and I was like, ugh. Like, I just kept looking at like, oh my God, this thing's like 45 minutes. Who's going to listen to this? And then we make one that's like that long, but whatever.
Are you telling me
But
that every time I've sent a link to a podcast to the group chat, you just go, nah?
Well,
yes, 100%.
I think that she thinks that you have to like sit down and listen to it like all at once. I listen to them like when I'm driving for work or at work, or doing laundry or something upstairs, and you're like moving around. It goes a little quicker. You don't just like sit down and listen to it. I don't know.
That's like the only way
some
I'll
people
ever
do, but
yeah.
I do like the meta of us describing how to listen to a podcast while on a podcast. It's getting a little a little granular for me. I'm going to take a step back.
Yeah.
Right.
I will say though, Ro, I feel like I don't have to, because all the podcasts Josh just mentioned, I know all about them because he tells me about every episode.
You get like
that
the
he
spark
listens
notes
to.
of it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I need to know. It's just like how you guys are all like, watch Game of Thrones. And I was like, I don't need to watch Game of Thrones. I read all of the recaps. I know what happened. It's fine. Talk about how much that irritates Josh.
It's very annoying. Because she acts like she doesn't watch TV, which she doesn't really, but yet she knows
I know what's going on.
all the popular shows or whatever that's going on. And I'm like, it bugs me. I don't know why, but it does.
Every Tuesday in the office, Kim will walk in and just like kind of whenever we're in the office and lean over at the table and say, hey, Bree and Chelsea, what's going on with The Bachelor? Because I need to know because I haven't watched it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you don't watch it, so why do you care? But it's like she's got this thing of like,
I have to know.
she has to be the kid in the lunchroom, that knows what everybody's talking about at the table. So,
I didn't want to feel left out. I get that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to pull us back here. Josh, we've talked about Kim's favorite things and least favorite things about having a partner outside of the industry. What is your favorite and least favorite thing about having somebody who is in advertising and marketing and PR and all of that jazz?
The favorite thing is we get to do a lot of cool stuff. Believe it or not, I actually like to go to some of the events where you get to dress up a little bit. That's kind of fun because I'm usually in work boots and a t-shirt. So that's kind of fun to go do something like that that I normally wouldn't get to experience.
What was the last event we were at where you came in like a brand new suit combo, like you just picked up?
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember what that looked like.
What was that suit? That was a cool suit.
It was at 20
dogs.
Monroe. It was
Epic Awards.
There we go.
Yeah.
The suit was
Chamber
dog
Epic
pattern.
Awards.
That's right.
That's
Yep.
right. Yes. I haven't wore that since then.
Big word, I think,
Maybe
for
I'll just bust it
our
out today.
Christmas.
Yeah. I mean, who's going to stop you from walking around your house in a suit? Like,
Yeah, exactly. Why not? I'll go mow leaves in a suit.
Yeah. Yeah, that seems interesting.
I said to Cliff that we'll have a meeting today to discuss his patio. Maybe I'll show up in a suit, make it professional.
do it. It's 2020. Everything's game at this point.
That's right.
So is that like that meeting a happy hour? Because Josh likes to say that when I'm like, oh, I have a meeting, he goes, or I'll say I'll have a meeting. He goes, do you mean you have a happy hour? And I was like, I'm just good at combining a meeting and a happy hour into one. So you can't actually get annoyed about that because that's genius.
It is
Just
genius.
call it a happy hour.
No, because it's a meeting. That's what you get annoyed about. Because I'll say like, I have a meeting and you're like, okay, where? And I'm like, oh, it's at like Hopcat or whatever. You're like, that's not a meeting. That's a happy hour. Just call it a happy hour. I was like, well, I'm meeting somebody at Hopcat. It's a meeting happy hour. It's a happy hour meeting.
This is all very, subjective.
Josh is anti-happy meeting hours.
Yeah.
Right.
No, it's not that are you kidding me? I would love to go to a bar for a meeting, every single meeting. So
It's not every single meeting. Sometimes I did sit at Butcher's Union for 6 hours one time.
And it was,
But I just had people rotate in for their meetings. So
that was a good day though. We even rotated in for a meeting at that point.
yeah. And then they told me I couldn't have any more Palomas because I'd been there too long.
Weird how that works.
Yeah, right.
Still a little bitter about that one, but whatever. It's fine.
I'm going to ask here, speaking of having happy hours that are also combo meetings. Is there ever a day in your home that is not work in some way, not related to 834 in some way? You know that like when you do what you like, you'll never work a day in your life sort of bullshit. Like we know that's not true.
Yeah, 100% bullshit.
Yeah. So is there ever?
No, she's always on her computer at least once or twice a day doing, I mean, it might not be for, an hour and a half, but it's at least a half hour here doing something. And then later on, all of a sudden she's on her computer again doing something. So it's just, no, but that's just how it rolls.
How often are you guys just like chilling, doing something else, and Kim is like, I've got this great idea for something, and then has to go do it, like 834 related, or like, oh, I forgot to add this person to a media list or stuff like that. Is this a regular occurrence?
Yeah, I think it's more in conversation. Like we're talking, and then all of a sudden she's just not. And you just sit and wait. I just sit and wait, and okay, yep. And then maybe she'll come back to me eventually. So what was that? Oh yeah. So
it makes you feel better. She does also do this in the office, and we always call her out on it. So it's not just you.
I'll look up and he's just glaring at me, and I was like, oh God, I tuned out again. I don't know. And then he's like, what were we talking about? And I'm like, oh shit. Like, what is this, quiz time? I don't know. Get to the point quicker.
I love that this has just turned into a Kim roast. It's very good.
But if it was, think about if it was the other way around, like if she did that to me.
Oh yeah.
No, wasn't this the thing with like you trying to figure something out on your computer and like talking to it? Wasn't this the exact same situation?
Oh, yes. Thank you, Ro, for bringing that up. I'd like to revisit that.
Ro, you're supposed to be on my side here.
I didn't realize.
No. I pay.
I want to go back to when everybody was saying nice things about me. Let's go back to that.
Sorry. This is where we are now.
Nope.
So Josh is not great with technology. Yeah. So Josh is not great with technology. And so he often will talk to his phone or a video he's watching, or say like his computer just randomly, sometimes his iPad. Anyway, and then every once in a while when he's been having this dialogue with his technology, he'll throw in something that he means for me to listen to or pick up on. And then when I don't say anything, because he's literally been talking to his phone and I keep going, what's that? What did you need? What were you saying? And he completely ignores me because he's not actually talking to me. And then he'll throw something in where I'm supposed to respond, but I'm supposed to know he's no longer talking to his phone and he's now talking to me. So that seems
totally fair.
Nice. You fit to it too. That's a good relationship, you guys. When you can tune out and he can suddenly throw things your way and you're both like,
oh, let's not forget, Ro, last night you told me that you would teach Josh technology.
I did.
Do not think I forgot that.
I did promise that I would teach you how to use your laptop if Kim wanted me to.
I don't know if I want to learn technology.
Just in general?
Yeah.
Like what technology do you not want to learn? Like email?
I'm fine with Google Maps and email and text messaging. I'm okay with that.
But like
the rest of it.
Don't you need to like make invoices and stuff?
Yes.
Yeah, yes, he does.
Point.
Yeah.
That is a good point.
Yeah.
Just writing off all technology in general. Just forget your best without it.
I just need someone else to do it for me, I think.
So like a secretary.
No.
Isn't that like what
a personal assistant?
Yeah. I think we just teach Sarge how to do it, and then you'll have a personal assistant.
Oh, this is brilliant. That's brilliant.
Do you guys have any advice for couples who are dealing with high intensity industries or jobs that constantly leak over into the rest of your life?
Josh would say have a lot of sex.
I mean, that doesn't hurt. So, I mean, that kind of leads into you have to do something at least once in a while, try once a week where it's not work related, at least for, a couple hours. Maybe you go to dinner or you watch a movie or do something.
I think the cabin was important for I do think for our relationship, being able to go up north and kind of just get away.
You mean the cabin where you worked for like 2 weeks straight up there?
Yes. Well, It was in the woods.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Isn't that the cabin where you guys were feeding bear too?
Oh yeah. Let's tell that story.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to keep doing this.
Josh's obsession with birds led to a bear attack.
An actual attack?
No, so dramatic.
Well, yeah,
a bear came and
attacked
ate
your bird feeder.
It came and ate, destroyed a bird feeder that I had up there. Honestly, I didn't even think about bears when I put it out. It didn't cross my mind.
What was in that bird feeder?
Suet.
And what is suet?
Why?
It's wonderful feed for woodpeckers. They love it. So,
what is it made of, though?
Certain animal fat.
So.
Would that be the kind that has antlers and, like people hunt?
It can be deer, it can be cattle, whatever. So it's just fat.
Interesting.
I think.
Do you want to explain what your reaction was when you couldn't find that bird feeder?
See, Kim is notorious for making fun of me and my bird feeders.
Mm-hmm.
And how much she hates them. So when this bird feeder was not there one morning when I was sitting on the deck, it wasn't there. And I thought, I'll bet she took that and threw it away. So I asked her, where did the bird feeder go? She's like, I didn't do anything with your bird feeder. And I was like, okay, I think you did. She's like, no, I didn't. So I went and looked for it, and then I found it in a bush, completely tore apart. And
also the thing that was hanging on, which was a metal hook, was like bent in half.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, that was me. I was so angry about that bird feeder. I channeled Hulk, whatever. And I just like broke it over my knee. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I do hate your bird feeders. I will go on the record about this. Your bird feeders, your bird houses.
You've already gone on the record. Everybody knows.
But I have never destroyed one of them.
Yes.
So I accidentally hit a dog toy with that one. That was not done on purpose. And you've already replaced it. So it's fine.
I think it was on purpose, but whatever.
Well, you kept referring to it as your showpiece, which is weird.
It was a little barn. It was cool.
How hard do you need to hit a bird feeder with a dog toy to break it, Kim?
Thank you, Ro.
Well,
How hard,
it wasn't
Kim?
A showpiece. It was cheap plastic. And it was a very heavy dog toy. Mm-hmm. And also, I've hit your truck with dog toys. I clearly have no athletic ability
because of it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Well, maybe you should hide all those toys or just don't have birdhouses.
I like how the problem here is the birdhouses in the truck, not the dog toys that Kim is throwing with bad aim.
Just randomly throwing everywhere.
It definitely wasn't me. Yep.
Oh gosh.
Definitely was not me.
You guys have told a bunch of wonderful anecdotes, but I want to know from each of your perspectives.
Have we?
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
I said, wow. All right.
What is the best adventure you two have ever been on together, either literally or figuratively?
I thought Ireland was really cool because Kim had never been. So that was fun to travel and see, and to see a different part of the country that I hadn't been to either was a lot of fun. All of our camping stuff, whether it's the trailer or the cabin, that's always a blast. But yeah, Ireland was really cool. That was a one-off kind of thing. That was sweet.
When did you guys go?
We went 2017.
Yeah.
And then we wanted to get back to, so we have, because Josh, when he played rugby, he also played overseas and he lived in England, Northern England. And he also was in Ireland for a while. So I would say that's probably one of my favorite things are the relationships and what I consider family that we have over there. And so I remember the first time we went over, which is when we went to Ireland, and he had lived when Josh lived over there, he lived with an older gentleman named Caddy. And so being able to meet Caddy for the very first time, who absolutely adores Josh and considers him like a son. And then it was over my birthday and they threw me a surprise birthday party with gifts and everything. And in this little pub that Josh used to hang out, they all used to hang out at. And I have it's by far the best birthday I ever had. Like to have these, and what's so funny is it was the parents of all the people he hung out with. That's how much they all love Josh. They all came to my birthday party. we were married at the time. So, but they don't know me, and they all came to celebrate, my birthday and see Josh. And like, it was just to see how much they all loved him, and then being embraced by those same people. I don't know. It's just like the coolest thing ever.
That was a blast. It was fun to party with all the parents because none of the kids were there. They had all moved, away for jobs and stuff like that. So to have all the parents there it was really fun.
Yeah. And then I would say one of my other favorite trips that we did was when we went to Las Vegas for the Sevens tournament. And we didn't go into like downtown Las Vegas or whatever. We didn't go onto the strip, but we literally stayed out and just watched the whole tournament and then hung out like in this little resort that was kind of in it was like a little bit more remote. So that was really cool because just being able to see like sevens is my favorite. There's 15s and there's sevens in rugby, and sevens is my favorite to watch. So the U.S. is terrible, but
I am so glad you said in rugby because I was just staring at you this whole time trying to decide what sevens was.
Like, why is she just saying random numbers?
I was like, I mean, if it's Las Vegas, there's 7, lucky number 7. Like maybe it's some sort of gambling thing. Like.
Yeah, Kim and I are huge gamblers. We love to go and hit the tables. Yeah.
What is the next big adventure that you guys are looking forward to? Again, either figuratively or literally.
Well, we decided that it would be fun to throw all 6 dogs in the car and go down to Florida.
I like how you say we. Sure, I guess it'll be a fun story to tell afterwards, I guess.
This is not the first time we've done it either.
Yeah, I know. And I remember how much fun it was the last time we did that. And how we said that, man, driving down to Florida and then all the way back is just not fun. Like, I don't think we should ever do it again.
I made some adjustments. So we are stopping in Memphis to see my brother, Eric, on the way down. So we're going to break up the drive, and then we will drive the rest of the way to Florida. And we're being safe, everyone, for your who's going to ask.
And that's kind of another thing, too. I'm like that.
Oh, God. Don't even start.
How many dogs were in the car the last time you did this?
7.
Okay, so you
go.
So
we're down 1.
There weren't 7.
Yes, it was. Yes, or what? We had Buddy at the time. Oh, we didn't have Joey. You're right. It was 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
So same situation.
Yep. Same.
But now you have 2 puppies.
I don't even think we had. I'd have to look at the pictures, but I think we only had 4 or 5.
This is sad.
We had Sarge,
I was just about to say.
Buddy. We had Sarge, we had Buddy, we had Bentley, and we had Jimmy.
And we had Parker.
Oh yeah, we did. I always forget about Parker.
We didn't. You know who we did? You're right. We had 5 because we did not have Phoebe at the time.
Right.
So you're going to drive down to Florida with Phoebe and Sammy in a car together. For those who aren't aware, Phoebe and Sammy are 2 of Kim and Josh's dogs who despise each other for no apparent reason. They are very good at not being in the same room together, but if they are ever in the same room together, everybody needs to be prepared to intercede. So the fact that they're both going in a car on the way down to Florida is going to be very interesting.
It's funny. They actually do pretty well in the car.
Yeah.
Like together.
They're too distracted, probably.
They just kind of, just kind of do their own thing.
Just keep them separate.
But we have our own Airbnb. It's fenced in. We're going to be fine. It's going to be nice and safe.
It'll be fine.
Yeah.
The resignation in your voice, Josh.
Yeah. Yeah. He's like, whatever, I guess we're going to go.
You know, the funny thing is, I don't mind the dog. Taking the dogs is fine. Like we've traveled with them plenty of times, like camping we've had 7 in our camper. That part, it's just the getting there is just like,
you're more of a destination person than a journey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kim, are you a journey or a destination person?
I don't know, probably both.
Okay, that's fair.
I just enjoy the adventure. That's what I tell Josh all the time because he did all this adventuring early in his life. I did nothing. So now he wants to relax and I'm just like, let's do this. So we're going to go to, as soon as the borders are opened up again, because Americans right now are stupid.
Just right now?
Eventually we will. Yeah, just right now. Okay. So, or like the past 4 years, we are going to go back to England and we're going to see Caddy and all of our friends. We were supposed to go in August and obviously that got canceled. So, I'm really looking forward to getting back there again. You know, it's funny because Josh has a very good friend that lives in York, and he was watching the election results, and he was rooting for a certain someone because he wants to be able to see his friends again. And he knows that like under the current administration, that's virtually impossible because we don't have a national strategy for dealing with the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
So
I have a friend in Leicester who was doing the exact same thing. So
Leicester.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah.
Leicester Tigers. It's a rugby team.
I like how instead of the football team, you go for the rugby team.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, you two. Any lovely parting words that you want to give our wonderful audience? Josh, are you going to listen to this episode too? I do need to ask.
Probably not, because I hate the sound of my voice, hearing it from some other recording. So probably not.
If I have to listen to it, you have to listen to it.
Why do you have
I
to
hate my voice. Ro makes me listen to it. It's the only podcast I listen to. Boom.
I think you should play it in the car on the way down to Florida. And then
Oh God. Yeah.
I think we should take a poll. So if anybody's actually listening to this, should Josh become a regular podcast guest?
Nice. So if you think he
Belle
should,
says yes.
Absolutely go ahead and comment on any post that we post that's linking to this, or just go ahead and message us on one of our social platforms, which we haven't plugged in a while, actually. We are
I know.
The number 8 and then 34, all is one word, on most social media. Yep, I'm pretty sure every social media. And that is also
We're
our
on
website.
Instagram.
Ro, by the way,
LinkedIn.
I've been meaning to ask you this. Is that your upstairs that we're looking at?
Yes, this is. Yes.
Okay. I was like, I didn't see that. I'm like, I'm trying to remember if okay.
Next time you're
Very
here, I'll
nice.
take you on a tour. Thank you.
Yeah,
This wasn't
it's very
unpacked
nice.
when you were here.
Oh, okay.
Is it all unpacked now? Are you fully unpacked?
Yeah, we were unpacked within a week. I know.
We do it in a weekend.
Okay, well.
Yeah, how's bragging?
I'm just saying he gets mad about it, but it's done like that.
Makes sense.
Wouldn't you rather have like a week or a weekend of craziness than spread? I see some people spread it out over months. Ugh, no.
I can never do that. But do you guys have any finishing moments of wisdom here to pass on?
Ooh, yeah. Some marriage advice.
Sure, let's do that.
Gosh, what's your marriage advice?
Just have fun.
Okay. That's terrible.
I was going to say that's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's terrible. Drink a lot. No, I'm just kidding.
Which is such better advice.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I would say, I don't know, like actually like we enjoy a lot of the same things. Like we love to be outside. We do love to travel. Like, we have the same core beliefs. So I think that's big. I see a lot of people, especially with this recent election, that are struggling in their relationships. And it's because they're just so far apart in the political spectrum. So I think for us, it's important that we have things in common and that we talk to each other. And yeah, I mean, and I think affection is important in a relationship as well. So
the communication is definitely key. I mean, you don't have to sit down and have these big, deep, what are your biggest fears and what are your, you don't have to do that, but just know what's happening, I think is a big, big part of it.
Pay attention. Yeah. Just pay attention to the other person, and
then maybe once a week, sit around and get drunk together. That's always fun too.
Just probably once a week.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, just once. We'll leave on that note so we don't need to parse through how often that happens. Thank you guys for being part of this lovely Happy Hour Hustle episode. Thank you guys for listening also, and we will see you on the download.
Goodbye.
You're just out. Just done.
It's just like, I'm done.
I don't know how to do this. I'm just going to close it.
Okay.
It's still on.
Yeah, I'm still recording.